Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to anyone who watched the first video, and to anyone who is new. My name is Jotham, this is my channel, and today we're just going to be continuing the wizard playthrough that I started on Heroes of Hammerwatch 2 last time. If you haven't watched that video, please do go ahead and check it out. Basically, once again, I didn't actually record my audio like I thought I had. So, this is going to be another just voiceover of the whole video. But as you'll already be able to tell, I am making some pretty quick cuts just already. Well, basically what happened is last time I did manage to get all the way to, I think it was the second floor of the cave, and so I didn't think there was much point in showing you guys even more gameplay of you know, the forest and the cave again. So those two areas are the ones that I cut the most heavily this time around, because I did mention it in the last video, but yeah, this recording was it was actually over 2 hours worth of gameplay, so I had to do some pretty heavy edits to not give you a crazy long video. I mean, this one I think is still around 50 minutes, so yeah. Basically, we made it much further. You guys are in for a treat because we're actually going to see some bosses today. I won't spoil how many. You'll be able to see that just throughout the rest of the video. So yeah, since I'm still experimenting with this, it was really tough to decide exactly what to cut out and what not to. I am pretty sure I left in all of the skill orb selections and most of like what you're seeing now of selecting like specific items and buffs like that. So this is a little awkward because so in the last video when I was editing it, at that point I had already recorded all the content you saw in that video and all the content you're gonna see in this video. So the issue with that is while I was recording that content, I was actually speaking into my mic while I was playing. So this is the unfortunate aspect of doing the voiceover, in that I came up with some ground rules for myself in terms of how to make this playthrough a little more difficult, since, you know, like I said, I already have lots of progress with the game. I'm already familiar with the game, and I already have my town almost fully upgraded. So because I did it that way, I thought that it was this longer section of gameplay that I recorded where I spent some time originally discussing what I was going to do to you know, make it something of a challenge for myself. As it turns out, I didn't, and that was actually what was all at the end of the last video. So at the end of the last video, you'll see I did get some upgrades for my wizard, including 2 new skills. So now I can launch a fireball, as you will have already seen from the gameplay here. And I got a new passive, which, just to describe it briefly, it just over time I basically get an automatic shield, and you can see it kind of pop off there. Every once in a while there will be like an orb that kind of forms around me, or like I'll have a glowing aura. That's that shield. It does stack, but yeah, it just automatically you know, just props. It is a passive, so yeah. So anyway, yeah, ideally I would have realized this before I published the first video, but you know, it's a learning curve. Like I said, I'm doing this mostly for fun, trying some new things out. Yeah, so basic rundown of what I was thinking in terms of limitations for myself is at the end of each run, you get to see your stats, how much gold, how many materials, yeah, all of these things that you get from your run as like rewards. So I'm going to try to limit myself to only using or only being able to use as much gold as I get from each run. So in the last one, I think by the time I actually died, and got back to town, I think the report was 7,000 gold in total. So I had 7,000 gold to spend, and then other than that, I really just need to track my levels, because the other general upgrades that you get are or that you can get, I mean, are to your skills and your base stats. So when you level up, you get +3 skill points, and I think it's 3, I don't know if this is actually what they're called, but just 3 stat points. So you can invest those for upgrades to your basic skills. So like in this case, let's say my magic missiles or my fireball, I can upgrade that with well, I mean, it's increasing, it increases per like skill level, which how many skill points you need to upgrade them, but typically it just increases the amount of damage, or like the amount of effect that those skills do, and it tends to increase the mana that they cost if they're an active skill. So that's the basic rundown. So however many levels I get on a run, that's just how many skill points we're going to count, since it is set to 3 per level. And for the most part, it's not going to be perfect, since again this isn't like me splitting up you know, just like a huge log of gameplay until I actually beat the game with the wizard. So a lot of it's just counting on my memory, or my actually going back to the videos and just double checking, which I can do. I just don't think it really matters that much. These are more just general rules that I'm applying just to give myself more of a challenge. And to be honest, once we've beaten the game, well, just the base game, because New Game Plus is a whole nother thing that we'll get into once we actually beat the final boss with Wizard. But yeah, once I beat it with Wizard, I'm probably going to pivot to starting the Warrior playthrough, and that one I'm probably not going to bother. I'm probably not going to bother making it like a what would it be called? Like a super raw playthrough where I start with like absolutely nothing, because I am going to have gold available. I am going to have a bunch of skill points available that I can use just to try to like beat it in one go, which I think is probably what I'm gonna do with Warrior. Also, because Warrior is one of those classes where it's not boring, but it's a lot more straightforward. Like there's really only so much variance between like a Warrior class between games like this. So yeah, yeah, we'll see how that goes. I'm still slightly undecided. But yeah, apart from that, you know, this is several days after I uploaded the first videos, or the first video. My bad. So I want to start off by saying thank you to anyone who watched that. I'm actually really surprised it has even more than like just 1 or 2 views. Even that like would have been fantastic. Oh, actually, let me pivot here because I just realized we just got to the first boss. So it's approximately, I think, 2 floors on like each dungeon, and then you get to the boss room. In this case, it is a totem. Also, if anyone's wondering, I don't know if I explained this in the first video or not, but that like star that just showed up over my character, that's the sign that I just leveled up. But yeah, the totem is honestly really. I'll hold off on saying easy, but it's a very straightforward fight. One central enemy, and it's elemental. I mean, you can look at the health bar; it tells you which element it's going to be using. Right now, it's the ice. So, again, it's a lot more challenging if you haven't seen its attacks before. But basically, you want to make sure that you keep on moving, and that you are dodging. But yeah, other than that, just make sure you you have some crowd control. You clear some of the minions, because if you get swarmed, no matter how high level you are, once you get swarmed, it can end up pretty bad for you. The enemies do tend to scale to whatever level you're at the very least. I'm pretty sure they scale with like how many skill points you've invested to, but it kind of just feels that way. It's not I'm not saying like this is something like I know for sure. But yeah. So the totem, you want to make sure you just keep moving, keep attacking it over time. You can see I don't actually do that much damage to it. That's just because, again, I've hardly upgraded anything really. But yeah, it's a very manageable boss. You just don't want to downplay how much damage it can do to you with its attacks when you are playing something like the wizard, which is really squishy. And with that, we've unlocked another aspect of gameplay. That orb in the middle, right there, you can see unlock combo. So combo, by default, it's just if you kill, I think it's 10 enemies in quick succession. I want to say it's like 10 enemies in like 5 seconds or something. It might be a little more forgiving than that, but yeah, like 10 enemies in quick succession. Basically, you get a movement boost, so speed boost. I think you get a damage boost too, but it becomes especially helpful once you unlock one of the upgrades for it, which also comes from the skill orbs. If I remember correctly, I think you'll see this pretty soon. But anyway, yeah, just speaking in terms of changes, because you know, again, it is a little disjointed, because I mean, from when I actually recorded this to when I'm editing this and doing this voiceover, it's been quite a while. It's been over a week for sure. I don't think it's been like quite 2 weeks in total. So I have a general idea of what I did and everything. I did try to leave as much as possible of you can see after that upgrade that once I get the combo, you start glowing, and now I actually shoot you know, some energy blasts out in all directions from hitting the combo. But anyway, really important, my build, and I'll be showing this off throughout the rest of the video, because I get new equipment and upgrades and such. Most important aspect, there's only one class really I can think of where I would say like shield isn't really worth it, but for the most part you want a decent main hand weapon, and then for your offhand, getting a shield is just super helpful. It is super helpful because shields, they can intercept projectiles. So whether you're good at dodging or not, it's just really helpful to have that that kind of like safety net of oh yeah, so some attacks, especially when you'll see this later on, but especially when you're dealing with a ton of enemies, just like getting to block some attacks is really handy. The shield also has a really good ability. So if you look at the bottom screen, you can see my skills to the right of my health and mana bar. Directly to the left, just past the flask, you can see the shield and then the wand. So, I mean, you can rebind this if you ever play the game yourself, obviously, but just automatically, your left mouse button is your basic attack with whatever weapon you have, and your right mouse button is to activate your offhand weapon. So in the case of the shield, it has a really good skill called Shield Bash, which basically it lets you stun an enemy. You have to be close, but yeah, it lets you stun. So for crowd control, if you're dealing with a really tanky enemy, which believe me, that gets to be the common denominator with enemies in this game, you can lock them in place. So again, stun is just, I think, in virtually every game imaginable, having the ability to stun is amazing, always. So shields are just really good. They also help with your armor. So again, if you're a super squishy character, like the squishiest ones I can think of would be Wizard or Sorcerer, which, I mean, they're pretty similar, so no surprise there. Having a shield, it will help so much with your survivability. So much. And then I'm pretty sure I mentioned this last time. I don't really mean for these to be guides. I don't think I'm that good at the game, but I will throw in some general tips from stuff I've seen and I've experienced while playing the game, just in case anyone decides to try it out after watching this, or really just for anyone who might be curious. But yeah, so in terms of like the only class I can think of that you wouldn't really want to consider shield would be Ranger, and that's just because Ranger, there's two weapon types I've found that are particularly good with Ranger. Also, before I continue, I just want to point out, definitely did not make it this far in the last video. So we're facing newer-ish enemy types. Oh, this room is fun. So this always happens in the temple. I think this is considered the temple. Basically, this is the door to go to the next floor. You have to try to go through the door, and that activates this, I guess, trap room of sorts, where basically you just get mobbed by an enemy. And I think this room is just a really good example of what you want to be doing throughout most of the game, or just how you survive through stuff. You want to keep moving, make sure you are hitting stuff with your basic attacks as much as possible, and when you're Wizard, unleashing your skills often, just so you can actually clear stuff, because your basic attack is helpful. It's going to help you chip down enemies, and it does do a good amount of damage, usually. With like every class, the only one I can think of that the damage is kind of underwhelming would be Paladin, but yeah, just going back to the whole like giving you general tips things, this kind of game, you typically, well, this game specifically, especially when you're starting out, it's a little, I would say it's better to focus more on your defenses, just because it's a game of endurance in a sense. So regardless of whether you can out damage enemies or not, as long as you can live longer than them, you can beat them eventually. And this is true for the bosses, this is true for mobs and stuff. So dodging is viable for the most part, but realistically, if you're just starting out, or, you know, unless you are crazy talented, or you have, I don't know, dozens of hours at least, probably even more than dozens to be honest, and have practiced nothing but dodging, you are just in the lab doing nothing but dodging, I don't think you're going to be good enough at dodging to make up for having no defenses and going all offense. In general, like, you do want to focus on building some offense, but just at the very start, make sure you have some defenses, because, like I said, it's more important to be able to outlast your enemies in a lot of cases, especially early on when you don't necessarily have the mana regen for, you know, your high damaging skills in the case of Wizard, and also because some bosses and some enemies will just do a ton of damage to you regardless of how much armor you have. We'll see this more after the next boss, but there is also something called Shadow Curse in this game, which is a double-edged sword of sorts. I'll hold off on talking to that until we actually get to it, if we do actually reach it in this run. So like I said before, I'm gonna be playing around with what to really cut out. Since this time around I didn't show you guys these floors like at all the last time. That was just a quick run. I'm pretty sure we only made it to the second floor of the cave. We didn't even make it to the totem, the first boss. So it's kind of tough because I don't know. I'm still super new to this, and you know, I want to make the video entertaining in a sense. Just like even just my talking, even in a voiceover sense, I still keep questioning like oh, what should I mention? Should I write some sort of script? Which honestly might be advisable. It's just, again, like I mean this to be a hobby, so I'm just trying to have fun with it. Because I mean I'm gonna be playing the game regardless, so really I'm just sharing the gameplay because well, why not? And getting back to it, the last time I checked, I think the first video had 8 views, which is I think I mentioned this even before in this video, but that's amazing. Like I did not expect anywhere near that. Even getting 1 view, I was gonna consider that a crazy win. So yeah, if there are any, if anyone who watches this also watched the first video, please let me know what you guys think about how the cuts have been so far. In the first one, I used some blinking effect, which I'm still undecided. I'm still undecided because I haven't finished all of the edits. Right now, I've mostly just cut down the time to, I think, something appropriate. Oh, before I go on, this is important if anyone does end up playing the game. When you reach the trader like this, the item or just the thing on top is what you have at the moment, and on the bottom is what you would get in return. So that's what you're trading, the thing on top. Yeah, I've for most of the time I've spent playing this game, it's been with 2 of my friends, and we always forget whenever we encounter the traitor. Yeah, if anyone is considering this game, I mean, like, just playing it solo is already quite fun. If you're a fan of roguelikes, this one has been super solid so far. The gameplay is very smooth. I haven't had any really technical issues at all in all of my playthroughs. And each of the classes, I mean, Wizard and Sorcerer are pretty similar, but their abilities are quite different. Which, I don't know, I might try to show off some Sorcerer gameplay at some point just to highlight that point. But yeah, each class feels very distinct. Each class is relatively easy to pick up in the sense that each class feels like they can do something. I played the first Heroes of Hammerwatch, like, I think it was like a year or two ago. That's not necessarily when it came out, it's just like when I actually played it. And I remember trying several of the classes in that one. That was a bit more of a learning curve, or it was just really rough with one class in particular. I remember trying the Priest because that was the only class that had, it was like active healing for your allies, and that one was really rough just because why was it really tough? I think it was something to do with the offensive capabilities of the Priest were super low until you reached a certain level and unlocked a couple of new skills. But yeah, this time around, I think the classes are a lot more balanced in that each of them feels really nice to use. Like, each of them, you feel like you can go offensive. I won't say each of them you feel like you can make a tank, but you can definitely make your build in a way where you don't feel anywhere near as squishy. Like, even just adding the shield. And I mean, again, I did make several upgrades, so it's not just the shield, but like, even making limited upgrades, this time around compared to the first episode, it's such a huge difference. Like, I don't think I've had a single moment where the screen is flaring red so far in this run, because my health got too low. And so I think you guys will be seeing what a difference that is. And also, I just realized I actually switched to a dagger. Huh. Or what are they called? They're not called daggers. They're basically daggers, but I think they're usually called dirks in this game. Oh yeah. Also, once you get past the forest, yeah, the forest and the cave. I think every floor has these little traps. Usually, it's a good idea to check on the minimap to see if you can see what's at the end of the trap, because usually it's a chest. It can also just be resources. So it's very situational whether it's worth it for you or not. And when you're still low level, it can be a little tough to handle them, because a lot of those flamethrowers, a lot of those spikes, they do some heavy damage when you are quite low. And now we get to the second boss, Shadowface. So this one is interesting. There's really only one tip I can give, which is, well, pay attention, because that kind of miasma circle, that props, like you might have seen right there, that can really mess you up. Like, that will kill you very, very quickly when you haven't really built up that much endurance and resistances without without any upgrades. But yeah, if you're paying attention, you'll notice, okay, there's some cultists that keep going to these circles. They keep, they are fueling the shadow phase, which, when I played with friends and we first saw that, our first thought was like, oh, it's like a shadowy Thanos, you know, like full armor Thanos. Because it looks smoky, I think we ended up referring to it as Chain Smoker Thanos. But yeah, I'll just tell you right up from experience, you can't actually damage the face directly. You have to go through the cultists, and you'll see that from the health bar. So yeah, when you have a more damaging class or just damaging build, this one really isn't the problem. It's just, again, you got to keep moving. And if you've unlocked combos and have this combo upgrade, it is very straightforward. It's, again, you really just have to dodge the miasma, so pay attention to the floor. And the combo blasts, they help so much with the crowd control. Oh wow, I actually went down to red there. But yeah, any damaging or just ranged class, I would easily recommend getting at least the first level upgrade of the combo, so you can get those blasts. Because even if they don't do that much damage, just chipping down enemies, especially in large groups, while you are moving around, it can really save you. It can definitely save you. And now we get to the dungeon. So I've been referring to everything as kind of a dungeon or a floor. They all basically are. This one, again, and this is where the video starts getting pretty long, just because, well, again, you guys haven't been shown this in the previous video, so I can't. I don't know. I think I was referring to this and went off on a tangent about just like general tips and stuff. Basically, if you are a returning viewer, well, first of all, thank you. I probably already said that, but yes, thank you very much. I'm just curious. If you could leave a comment, it would really help me out, just to know what do you think about the cuts I'm making so far? Because basically I'm jumping around stuff that kind of like this, just traveling around, killing enemies. It is repetitive. I'm not saying that in like a negative sense. It's just you know, I feel like I'm still giving you guys plenty of gameplay to show off the game, but I don't know. I just don't want to give you like 2 hours straight of the full run. I feel like that would only make sense if I'm doing like a live stream of this, and then I just upload that live stream instead of trying to make a video. I said it in the last video. I keep wanting to aim for like 20 to 30 minute videos, just because I feel like, in terms of getting a good taste of gameplay, I feel like that's a good amount. There are definitely certain games and, you know, times where a longer video is absolutely appropriate and or necessary. In this case, it wasn't even necessary, because I could have cut out a lot more from the caves and forest. It's just, again, this is just my second video, so I'm still playing around with things. And you know, if my videos are your first introduction to this game, you guys will have only seen those areas once in the previous videos. So I don't know. I'm still playing around with it. If anyone has watched the first one and is now watching this one, yeah, it would be greatly appreciated if you could leave a comment. Just let me know your thoughts about how I'm cutting and editing this video. In the first video, I did use, I think it was a blink effect for most of my cuts, but there were also, I don't know, probably like only 10 to 20% as many cuts. So, you know, I thought it would be a little too jarring for this one. So I think just clean cuts is what I'm gonna go for this one, although I'll have to double check what effects I have available. And then for anyone that's just more curious about the actual editing part of it instead of gameplay or anything, I used OBS to record the gameplay, which it looks like I need to make sure I readjust what I'm recording, because a very slight portion of the left screen got cut out this time around. And then I'm using CapCut for the video editing. I'm using the free version for both of them. Again, I'm doing this as a hobby, and still looking for a job or a new contract. So yeah, I'm trying to avoid investing much money, if any at all, into these videos for the moment. Okay, so here I can actually show you guys the shadow curse. It's that pulsating blob right there. So what the shadow curse does is, I think it's for each shadow curse that you have. So you can see right there, this like pulsating blob thing. Basically, it's kind of like a trader in a sense, where it gives you some buff either through a trinket or a skill upgrade or something else similar. It gives you some upgrade for some amount of shadow curse. Now, for every shadow curse you have to be careful, because every shadow curse you have lowers your armor by 3, I think it is. So 3 shadow curse would mean you have 9 less armor. 5 shadow curse, 15 less armor. Basically, if you start building up shadow curse, you get very, very, very squishy. So you want to be very careful with it. That's what I was saying before, in that it's a double-edged sword. Also, this right here is the boss for the dungeons. So the dungeons, the main thing is there's a lot of random attacks that can come from the floor, and this boss kind of emphasizes that, just because there is a lot of AoE damage going on around. So once again, you can get a pretty good gauge for when the attacks are coming and exactly where they are happening. So, oh, I still have the dirk. Interesting. I guess it was still the best weapon I had at this point. Yeah, wizard, you typically want to go ranged, since you are, you know, you are pretty squishy, even with additional armor and stuff. Just because you have to invest too much into your vitality, and other stats that just don't help out your natural abilities that much, in order to really become a tank. So this one is one that's like, you can definitely make yourself not squishy. Oh, and look at that, we just got a very good wand. Nice. You definitely make yourself not squishy. You can even make yourself something of a tank, but it's just not the best idea to go full tank. Although again, like, just being a tank is easily very viable in this game. Just because, you know, as long as you're doing some damage, you will always be able to outlast your enemies. Now this floor is where we should start seeing a lot more of a challenge. These enemies are like noticeably tankier, and they also, all of them do solid damage. And that's not just because, you know, we haven't gone back to town to do any upgrades. Like, if you're not careful, these guys, the enemies, at least I'm pretty sure, do scale with your character. At least up to a certain point. So yeah, on this floor, the kind of like castle, or I think this is called the barracks. Oh no. Okay, yeah, the Dark Citadel. So it's basically you can think of it as like this is like one big tower that we finally got to, and now we're like starting to go up it. That's kind of the best way to think about it. So really, this game isn't actually that long. Let's see. So far this video, we've taken down 3 enemies, or 3 bosses, I mean. There's only 3 bosses left, with the 6th boss being the final boss. Yeah, these floors in the Dark Citadel are the ones that are the real challenge. Once you're actually used to the game, just because the enemies, again, this is where I think you feel the most like the enemies are definitely scaling with you. So you guys can see here that I'm getting my butt whooped and by these guys. Yeah, it's really difficult to do enough damage to the point where you you know, you kill them before they can do anything to you. Hence why I keep insisting, like, yeah, if you guys are gonna play this game, remember, you should really keep moving. And yeah, at this point you should thankfully have a lot of trinkets and other upgrades that make it so that even dodging, you can still do damage. Like, you can see that lightning bolt, that's from a trinket where if an enemy's close to me, when I use the dash, it summons the lightning bolt to strike them. But yeah, it's a war of attrition type of thing. Like I was saying, you want to just be able to survive, kite enemies, and eventually you'll be able to beat them. Like, probably the rest of this floor, like I'm just going to be nearly dead the whole time while I try to just barely survive, because I'm out of potions at this point too. So I am at the mercy of whatever food I find, and just being able to avoid enough damage. So I mentioned how I play with 2 of my friends for most of, well, practically all of my, all of the time I have on this game. I've considered recording some of our sessions. I just need permission from them first, and I don't know that they would be cool with me, like, recording, you know, their audio and stuff. I also don't really want to put, like, their gamer tags or anything out without permission. So I wouldn't count on it. I'll ask them, but yeah, most likely that's not something that I'll post on here. But yeah, since I'm showing this off again, if you haven't played this game, you're considering it, definitely see if you have any friends who are also interested, because just having some other people not only helps make the game a little easier, it at least helps you not die as much. You can also revive people who die as long as someone else is alive. The only heads up about that is you have to sacrifice a percentage of your health each time. So I think it starts off like 10 or 15%. There is a building, I think it might be the church, in the town, that as you upgrade it, it lowers the cost for reviving. But oh, you know what? Actually, I should test that out. I want to see if that's revival by friends, or that's just like it's reducing how much gets taxed out of you when you die and then return to the town. But anyway, getting back to that, yeah, most likely not going to show any gameplay with my friends, just because, again, it would really be up to them. And I mean, this is also partially why I don't have like a face cam. Like, I only want to put so much out on the internet. And so it's like, you know, if they're cool with it, like, yeah, I'll absolutely post some of our joint playthroughs. It would be all New Game Plus stuff, because we all have characters that are on New Game Plus, unless they want to try out some new classes, and so we might show that. Yeah, but it's a potential thing. Most likely it won't happen. I don't see them really going for it. But in terms of future content, like I said, I will be doing a warrior playthrough after this, and that one will be less limited. I know where this ends, and you can probably tell from the length, I definitely do not reach the final boss on this one, or at the very least don't beat the final boss on this run. So episode 3 of this, I am going to try my best to finish the playthrough. I think most likely it's not going to happen, but I'm going to try my best to finish it on episode 3. Might even just do some heavy cutting of like multiple runs as I attempt it. But I'm thinking, because I don't really want this to be a long running series of just the wizard, especially when you know, this is a roguelite, so it's really just showing different attempts. And I don't know, I don't want to give you guys too much repetitive gameplay of like just this class. Like, if I were changing up to different classes, that might be something different. But oh, there we go, finally died. Made it pretty good though. Made it beyond halfway. I think I made it to the floor that leads to the next boss. But yeah, you can see here at this point, I think you can already see it. So in total, I earned like 14,000 gold for this run. So now I have 14,000 gold to spend. Yeah, so plans for the immediate future: going to continue the wizard playthrough, definitely at least one more episode. That one I hope will finish it. If I don't finish it in episode 3, episode 4 with the wizard will be me just going, alright, you know what, I just want to finish it, and I just want to show you guys, you know, super powerful wizard. So I'll talk more about this in what I'm showing you on the screen right now in the next episode, because I don't think I select one anyway or do any upgrades with it. But yeah, episode 4 of the wizard, I'm going to disregard and just max out the upgrades that I can with the wizard, and then go all out to try to beat the game. Again, episode 3, I'm probably going to cut out nearly all of the, like, basically all of the forest and cave, or actually I can skip them now. I'll talk more. You'll see on episode 3 if you watch that one. But yeah, in terms of immediate, so I'm gonna do a warrior run after I'm done with the wizard, and then maybe show off some of my other classes. Probably show off at least one with New Game Plus, just so you guys can see what's different. And then beyond New Game Plus 1, all the other New Game Pluses are just like adding the same kind of challenge, but in different amounts. So, Warrior next, probably going to be mostly Heroes of Hammerwatch. The only other thing that might be like super soon is I've been playing the Pokemon trading card, what's it called, Pocket. It's like the new Pokemon TCG game slash phone app thing. Basically, there's one card I've been chasing. I almost have enough just what are they called, pack points to just get it outright, but I also have enough pack hourglasses to open like 10 all at once. So I might do a short video just showing that off and seeing how it goes. Yeah, other than that, I mean, I'm still looking for ideas, so if anyone has any suggestions for what you'd like to see or just recommendations for games I should check out, feel free to leave a comment. I don't really use social media, so I don't have any to link right now. If we do end up, you know, creating a community here on this channel, I would be open to, you know, making some social media accounts to make it easier to interact with you guys, because I know YouTube comments is a little limited, but for the moment it should be perfectly fine. Yeah, so as it stands, I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you very much if anyone has made it all the way through here. Anyone who is watching again, thank you so much. It means a lot. Like I said, if you have any feedback for me in terms of my cuts or things you'd like to see from this game, yeah, absolutely. Just leave a comment, and I can't thank anyone who watches this enough for watching. I mean, I even saw from the last video I even got 2 subscribers. That's amazing. But yeah, all I can really say is thank you very much. The next video should honestly be even more entertaining because I'll have more upgrades and can be a little more aggressive in gameplay. But with that, I think I'm gonna get out of here. I don't think there's anything else I really need to cover. I gave you guys the basic groundwork for how I'm gonna make the challenge. And yeah. Oh, next episode should, if all goes well, I think this one I'm going to upload on Friday the 18th, if not Saturday the 19th. And the next episode, if everything goes well, should be fully recorded by the end of that same weekend. I might even be able to edit it and get it up on my channel by like Monday, if possible. We'll see how it goes, but it should come out much sooner than this one compared to the first episode. So once again, thank you very much. Have a good day, everyone, and goodbye.